Make this video today. It's showing a bit about England. This is off Google Maps, but there you can see that England is on a shelf there, and the shelf is much bigger. Anyway, so we're looking at this piece of land here. There's London, and we're going to be going across the coast from, well, we were at Brighton, which is up here somewhere. Oh, it's up there somewhere. And oh no, sorry, it's here somewhere, because that's the end of, that's Cornwall. It's down here somewhere, and Dover. So it's along here, because everybody just thinks that it's the White Cliffs of Dover, but there's more cliffs. In fact, England is practically all cliffs, and much of it must have collapsed then over the years. And you know, on that strange bit, you know, we were supposed to be joined to France and everything. I don't think they've got cliffs. But anyway, when we were at Brighton, there is the Daddy Longlegs. And what James was telling me was, look at the sand, you know, the beach. Look how low it is below the train. And I must admit, I hadn't noticed that. Okay. That a lot of the train was on these pillars. Just like that one. What we see today is the train like that, like this, okay? But when the train was made years ago, see, it was out here. This was just a sheer drop down. It was very steep, and the water then was smashing up against. But now it looks like that. So things have changed quite a lot. There's a lot more beach there now. It used to look like this, and the train would then travel along. I don't know if I'd want to go on it, to be honest, but yeah, it now looks like this. Now, just when I put that in, the beach has raised, and then of course we have the Daddy Longlegs, which also was in the sea. But anyway, let's carry on. When you get past the pier that's left out there, the sea drops. But anyway, as I was, you know, looking at things, this one, Rottingdean, is next to Brighton. It's all cliffs, just like Dover. It's hills and cliffs. Cliffs. But I hadn't realised it was that far along. I suppose if you don't go there, or you don't know, you don't know. I knew there was bits of cliff, but I hadn't realised really that it was miles of it, just like... Oh, and windmills. Everybody forgets that we have a lot of windmills too. It's not just Amsterdam. There are loads of windmills around Brighton. And maybe Brighton flooded and they were to help. Anyway, I caught this video, black mark in the middle of the sun. But yeah, there's a few pictures of that. And that was what? It's about 3 or 4 years ago. This is the walk. You can walk so far down then it stops. Saltdean is next to Rottingdean. It's all cliffs, just like Dover. Brighton, because I feel so sad for this beautiful. That's the palace in Brighton. Yeah. Anyway, back to this. I just took some pictures of this. Facebook doesn't always put them in order, does it? There's these cliffs. This is Eastbourne now, which is a bit further along. It goes Brighton, Rottingdean and all that. Then you hit Eastbourne, then you go along and it's Rye, Folkestone, Dover. I'm not saying all of it's got cliffs, but a lot of it does, just like that. The Seven Sisters. There they are. Cliffs. Probably just as well, because it would flood. But slowly it's taking the cliff away because it's chalk. And just in a minute I think we come to some houses which are right on the edge. I don't know if they're still there, but bits of them have gone, or they've been taking bits down because... Yeah, there you go. Look how close that town is to the edge. Here it is. That was the place there. But the land there is cracking because it's chalk. The Berlin Gap, and there's the houses. No, back to the pier in Brighton, because it's so sad, that pier. It was a beautiful pier. 2 piers have gone in Brighton. Brighton had 3 piers. The chain link pier, the one that's still there, and this one. And the chain link pier, I don't get that. There was 18 tons of marble on the platform where you landed, and it was burrowed into the side. Now the marina is on it in Brighton. It's the biggest marina on the south coast, I think. But how could they do all this in times where we had just boats and no roads, and you know, that's all incredible. But this place was beautiful. It probably had to go for a reason, because all piers seem to burn. When they don't want it, they burn it or knock it down. But past these piers, the water just drops. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you that England isn't just a flat piece of land with just beaches. It does have quite a lot of cliffs. I've gone back. James brought up a few things. So this is the coast that we're going to be looking at, and I put a little sign to say where Doggerland would have been. I do find it very strange because Brighton's here somewhere, and it's strange that's not on there, isn't it? And out in the sea here, it drops off. There's a cliff. The other side of the island had a lot of cliffs. Anyway, this is roughly where some of the cliff lifts are. You know, round here, and obviously the White Cliffs of Dover are here. Along this beach, Torquay. There's one in the Isle of Man and there's one up north. But anyway, that's a bit later on. I'm just going to look at, again, just to show you, it's quite beautiful really. A lot of it is chalk. We live on a chalk place, and yeah, a lot of it erodes away, as you can see there. These are just places along the coast. Dorset, that one is. If you go back to the map I showed at the beginning, I put the counties up to show where, you know, there's counties there. That's the county of Dorset. Quite cliff-like. I think the valleys are where the beaches are. See, like that one. The rest is cliffs. That's Ludworth Cove. Obviously a lot of hills there. This is a castle, it's called Corfe Castle. I'll show you a little bit later on, because Facebook have messed up all the pictures. But this is what the coastline looks like, and that's what the Isle of Wight is like, with the Needles. Looks a bit like the coastline I was showing you yesterday. Anyway, there's a little ferry which goes across, because it's a bit islandy, a bit bog. It's like that, which is, I wondered what Doggerland would be like. And then you catch the ferry across. We're coming up to it in a minute, a picture, well, a little bit later on. So there's a ferry, and it takes you 10 minutes, but I've queued for hours for that ferry. And then over in this piece of land is Corfe Castle, but it is connected to England. It's just a much quicker way of getting there. If you don't have lots of traffic, 10 minutes on the ferry. Otherwise you've got to drive right round, which I'll show you a little bit later on a map. Calling it the Jurassic Coast. This is the castle, Corfe Castle, what's left of it. Yeah, it's a bit Star Fort-like somehow, isn't it? And actually, although it's on a hill, I was wondering what that hill was. Not another pyramid, is it? It's probably just a hill. I've been there, but it's a long time ago. Anyway, in here, I think some pictures are going to come up. That's just showing you, like, the erosion and what happens, and this guy was talking about it. There it is. Right, so that ferry would be across that little bit of land there, and then Corfe Castle's in here. See, otherwise you'd have to drive all the way round. Yep, ferry there. But I was wondering if that's what Doggerland was more like, boggy, and anyway. You know, I never realised that it was quite like the Isle of Wight, the end of the Isle of Wight. And that's Dorset and streets. See, there's the cliffs and the valley in the middle. But that is quite a big landslide, isn't it? They weren't mixed up when I sent them, but Facebook had messed them up a little bit. But anyway, lots of people go fossiling. I'm going to put a little bit of video in here. This lady was very good at explaining it. I know she doesn't know, but the other stuff maybe, but yeah, she was fossiling. Cliffs have changed a little bit there. Look at that place. A fort there. There's another valley, see? Like hills, hills. But it's all like this down there. Isn't it? Further the beaches are, further, no, the more towards Cornwall it gets sandier, and the more towards Dover it gets pebbly, the beaches. See, we're down here, it's sandy. Another colour there. And this lady was looking at fossils, and this is what you can find. I've been down there myself and I picked a stone and we cracked it open, and it was a big crystal inside. But you get loads of those things. Different colour again. There's loads of those there. It's very peaty, you know, like it's hard but not some of it's not solid, it's like peat. Obviously those ones have fossilised. But I don't think people understand the bit about water can do it or mud can do it, and they might not be as old as you think they are. Petrification. Those are little sea animals which have petrified. This is what she was finding on the beach. And you see there's a defence system there to stop flooding.
To the east sits Golden Cap, the highest cliff on the south coast of England, and to the west is Black Ven, which has the largest mudslides in Europe. At different times in history, the area has been a desert and a shallow tropical sea and marsh, and the fossilised remains of the various creatures that lived here have been preserved within the rocks. The cliffs above Charmouth contain fossils mainly from the Jurassic period, around 145 million years ago, whilst the Jurassic coast as a whole contains geological history covering the Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous periods.
I think a different colour as well. Anyway, now we're on to the lifts, because I just find this really incredible that in the 1800s there was loads of these. I showed you the map at the beginning. There's obviously more. Some of them are abandoned, but these ones are going. This one's in Hastings, which is Kent, which is not far from Dover. It is a little way, but I'm saying it's in the same county as Dover. This one's Devon. So Dorset, Devon, Cornwall. And it goes Hampshire, Sussex, Kent. Those are the counties along, done them all. They're along the south coast. And Southend is where I flew to. It's on the edge, more sort of Doggerland side. But they have one, that's Folkestone, that's Kent, near Dover. I just think they're incredible that they made those in the 1800s. I mean, look at it. They were cliff faces. Look at how some of the inclination is 90 degrees. One of them in here, I'm not sure if that one's in America, but it's 90 degrees. Most of them are 70 degrees. What they do is they put water in at the top and then they empty it at the bottom. There you go. They fill the tanks. And on this one, which is up north, Saltburn is up north in Yorkshire, so below Scotland, on the right hand side, the Doggerland side, and I think that's, I'm not sure that's the same place. No, there you go, it's telling you the degree. Yeah, they got that man in there. This one, the other one was up north, this one's in Wales. So another one. This one then is another one down in near Torquay or in Torquay. It's got a different name than the other one. When I said it was, yeah, anyway, that one is a different place. Oh, I haven't looked up where that one is, but again, anyway, it's another part of England. Anyway, we're back here to Hastings, which is Kent. Scarborough, up north. There's quite a few of them. So that's the one again that's down. Anyway, the Southend again. They're a bit different. So obviously that one doesn't look as grand as the other ones. Still the same thing though, was probably made at the same time. There's the one at Folkestone. See, there's the valley and the cliffs either side. So they put all the houses in places where it would flood, if it's going to flood. The Hastings one. That one is in France. Looks quite modern, that one, but they've got one. And then that one is in America. I don't know why it came up, but I just put it in. And I think that's the shortest and the steepest one. And that looks quite old, doesn't it? Anyway, this one's abandoned. And this one's on the Isle of Man. Anyway, I just thought it was a bit interesting, and I thought that I would put it in. To show you. I just find some of these things interesting, especially those lifts, because, you know, they were made in the late 1800s, 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, 1890s, but, you know, they managed to do all. And the beautiful coastline, which England is cliffs, really, along that coast. There's no sort of gentle shelving beach. There's a barrier and then a beach below, but it's below the cliffs. Anyway, we're coming to the end of this video now. Thanks very much for watching. I thought that I would show you a little bit of the Isle of Wight. There's a few interesting things there. Has sands, different coloured sands, rainbow sands, and also the Needles. It's quite known for the Needles. And even though that lighthouse looks quite small, it's got floors on it. So anyway, those are where the spit forts are. Out there, and the land joined. We joined to England. Oh, that's where the Needles are, where I'm pointing now. But we used to join there. I've seen pictures not even that long ago where we joined there. Anyway, these are the different coloured sands. Now, they show us all across the world the amazing rainbow sands. But England, or the Isle of Wight, and probably England, has these rainbow sands. So that's England. It's not that far from the Needles, I'll show you later on. But anyway, here they are, all the different coloured sands. Only showing themselves really in this place. Chalky, but with these different sands in them. When I was a little girl, I went and got some sands. I think then you could just go and help yourself, but I don't think it's like that now. I think, you know, you can buy the sands already made up. Yeah, but anyway, that's where the sands are. Again, quite cliffy, and then just on a little bit is the Needles. There's England. This is looking back, and then there is those sands just on the edge of the picture. There, look. Here. There's England in the background. Yes, I wonder what that is. Very chalky there, no sands in that. Yes, they filmed it. I've never seen that before. But anyway, see, this lighthouse looks quite small, doesn't it? But when they zoom in, it's quite big. 1, 2, 3 floors in there. 1, 2, 3 floors. And look at the difference of the soils. It's chalk up to about just there. I saw the soil change. Look at the difference in the colours. And I wasn't sure what that triangle was. Maybe they had to cut it out, but it looks a bit strange, doesn't it? I've never seen it like that before. Yes, beautiful Isle of Wight with methylific stones. Yes, my memory of going over there a couple of times was on a ferry, and me and my parents went to France with the car in the hovercraft. Anyway, what a shame, this beautiful house. Derelict. Windmills. Solar. That's quite a big one, isn't it? And then old buildings like this. Tartaria. Anyway, thank you very much to the people that made these videos. And yeah, it's a really pretty place, isn't it? Lots of boats and sailing there and yachts. Anyway, thanks for watching.